to the channel, Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, out on the bike at the moment. On this quick talk about fun in relationships, and I guess I provided that, and I do provide that as far as I can. And do you just sweep trouble under the carpet, or do you deal with it? How do you approach those things, like trouble and stuff that we go through in relationships? Well, things have to be addressed, and if we're not prepared to address those things, then that's where the trouble's going to start. Triangulation and all this sort of things, trouble I've been having with, and when things go down that road, there's not really much you can do about it except hope that the people that you're going to meet are able to have a clear perspective on the dynamics and psychologies that are happening with the people that are around them and near them but are outside the relationship. As you get older, you start to wonder how it all really works, because the different dimensions and dynamics and the diversities of characteristics between people and how they manifest when you mesh with someone else is really hard. Because it's like an ingredient mixing things together, but you don't know how they're going to turn out. That's the thing with human nature. That's what happens with human nature. When you mix the two people together, there's no way of knowing how it's going to turn out until time has passed and the two souls and spirits have joined together and mixed together to see what it's going to produce. For the most part, initially, it usually works out well, otherwise the people wouldn't be together. Some people just are predators, and they're just going to get in contact with you and be intimate with you to just get supply. That's what a predator is. That's why narcissists are more or less predators, because they've got no intention of lasting or staying or making things work in a way in which things can build. It's very destructive. It's very degenerative. I can't see the point in being with somebody where it's just idle or passive, and the power that's being shared is being squandered or wasted on things that don't really matter. That can be an issue. That can be a major problem, because then what you're actually doing is you are encouraging the waste of time, and that's not good for anybody. The last thing you want to do is waste time and life and energy on things that aren't going to produce anything substantial. But this seems to be the trend now. People just aren't coping with the true ingredients of what a relationship is. When you think about these shells here, it's really quite identical to how somebody hides within a shell, and then the mask comes off, and all of a sudden the real person comes out. And that can be positive or negative depending on what the result of the situation is. For the most part these days it's usually negative, not positive. And as you get older, you start to get concerned a bit, because you're trying to have fun and be a good person and make things work and be positive and all this sort of stuff. But if you've got people around the relationship that just aren't going to be that or able to be that, that's going to cause tremendous interferences and trouble that is contrary to what the relationship's all about. So how do you protect yourself from these things? Well, you've got to have unity. And if that unity isn't there, then what's going to happen is you're going to get fragmented uses of power. And what I mean by that is power that's given but's wasted in its use for the benefit of life. There's a lot of people now that are looking after adults that should be looking after themselves and think they're doing them a favour, but they're not. They're actually enabling them to be disenabled, and that's not what it's about. And when you're enabling someone to actually be disenabled and be dependent on you, that's abuse. That's a real issue. That's a real problem, and it's identifiable. And it's just not healthy. It's just not good for the person that it's happening to or the person that you're with. So we'll go and have a look at some bikes, cars and things. There's an old MG over there. Oh, look at this BMW, gosh. Nice car. There's a Harley. Got a few bikes coming in. Look at this old car here. And, you know, with modern technology and everything, look at that old car. Wow. Things do improve with modern day developments. Look at this old car. Gee, how old would that be? I don't know. But things do improve with technology, but human nature has to be developed individually. It's something that we develop as individuals. And there's another old MG. And it takes work, and it takes devotion, and it takes time to develop these things. How are you? How you going, mate? And we'll have a look at these old cars over here as well. Psychological development and transformation takes a self-awareness, a tremendous self-awareness, and the opposite of that is trying to develop ourselves by use of substances and alcohol and things. It's just not going to help. How you going, mate? A few of these old vehicles here today.
Yeah.
They're nice. Yeah. Gosh.
I look after them.
She's turned this into a pretty good business, this lady, hasn't she? This shop. Wow, look at that. That's an old one. Yeah, it takes tremendous effort to develop yourself in a way in which is going to give you the opportunity to have a fantastic relationship. But even though these two cars, is that an MG? Yeah, they're made by the same company. They're not the same, are they? And that goes for us as humans. We're just not the same. We're all different. And I don't believe, you know, just having sex with somebody is enough. I believe there's way more to it than that. There's companionship and just hanging out together and being together, and all that sort of stuff. But honestly, I've just seen so much interference by triangulation, and how nasty it can get, how much these family members can hate you, and how little the person that you're with does about it. It's horrible. It's terrible. And it's how much you can tolerate. That's the thing. How much can you tolerate? When you go from the old MG to the new BMWs, look at this. Wow, look at that thing. That's top of the line BMW there. Top of the line. Oops, my thumb's in the way, sorry. Wow, what a car. So, personal development is important. It's an ongoing journey. And if you get with somebody that's not developed as much as what you are, that is going to be difficult. Really difficult. Because it's going to cause tension between the two of you. There's a bit of a hot rod down here. We'll have a look at this hot rod. There's another MG. Look at this old hot rod. Wow, it's an old hot rod. Look at that old hot rod. Look at that engine. Wow. Well, thank you for joining me. This is Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, geologist. Bye for now.